Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome along, everybody, to Business Owners Smashing It Online. I know I say it every week, but yes, it is Tuesday again, and it has just come around like it was just yesterday. So I don't know about you, but, today's the 1st of June. So what's that? That's almost halfway through the year. So we're on the downhill slide to Christmas again. So probably time to start your early Christmas shopping now. So for those that don't know me, my name's Linktree, and I'm the host of Business Owners Smashing It Online. We hold this every week, and it's for business owners, entrepreneurs, people with a spark of interest in creating a business or a side hustle. And what we try and cover is something to do with the online side of our business. Obviously can't cover everything. And one of the joys that I have is that we've always got a guest expert on. And secretly, the reason why I get a guest expert on is because I learned so much out of it. So don't worry about you. I'm just learning heaps. So, it's been really great to develop an incredible network of great, talented people. And one of those people is tonight, old one, Altnay. So she's going to be joining us and talking to us about some of the secrets that she has discovered in the PR world or the journalist world in her 37 years being there. But we will introduce her shortly. For now, I want to know who's here, and I want you to introduce yourself. So tell us, you can unmute yourself. There's no order to this. You can butt in, you can just press the button and say hi. Tell us who you are, what your business is, and what drew you in tonight. What are you hoping to get out of tonight? Who's going to kick us off? Hey, Peter.
Hi, Nick. Hi, Aldwin. Looking forward to today very much. I'm an Aussie. I've been living in Thailand for 24 years. I absolutely love these sessions because I love the accents. Makes me homesick, by the way. And I appreciate the cool tools you share, Nick, as well as your expertise. And Aldwin, I'm looking forward to hearing all about PR from you. It's an area of mine that I would love to know more about. I've been helping people to sell more of their stuff without selling anything for the last 30 odd years. I love what I do with a passion, and I enjoy these sessions very much. Thank you very much, Nick. Thank you, Aldwin.
Oh, that must have been working pretty well for you, Peter. If you've been doing it for 30 odd years, you wouldn't do it for that long if it wasn't working. So.
It's a passion. I don't even call it a job, Nick. It's a passion of mine. And I just love to get people to get success. That's awesome.
Awesome. Awesome. Excellent. Oh, good to have you along again, Peter. All right. Who else have we got here tonight? Just unmute yourself. Looks like Selena's just unmuted herself. You coming on camera too?
Sorry, guys. I'm just cooking dinner, so I thought I'd jump in really quick. I am listening, but I'm chopping vegetables and things like that. My name is Selena. We have a business called Excedia Accountants, but I have a creative side to me as well. So on the side, I write books. So that's why Aldwin really appealed to me. I thought I need to jump in and find out what she's doing because that's my sort of side business over there. So, yeah.
Awesome. It's always good to have famous people on, famous authors.
Yeah. Well, one day, you never know.
Excellent. All right. Save some dinner for me.
Will do.
All right. Who else we got here tonight? Hey, Debbie.
Hey, Nick. How are you?
I am excellent.
Oh, I think Colin got in there first. Colin,
no, you're good. We'll grab Colin next. I heard him serving this ear and you're in this ear.
That's all right. My name's Debbie Small and I connect business owners with the skills they need to succeed. I help them to seal any business gaps and I help them increase their revenue and increase their leads as well. So I love connecting and building relationships with amazing people. And I always love Nick's meetups. They're all very good. So thank you. And excellent. What am I wanting to get out of tonight? Well, one, meeting all of you guys, and two, also getting some tips on publicity as well. So thanks, Aldwin.
And you're in Melbourne at the moment too, aren't you? So you're indoors, aren't you?
Yeah, it's really weird. I had a meeting before with two other people who just happened to be in Melbourne as well. And I said, it's like Groundhog Day. Like it literally feels like someone pressed a button and reversed us 12 months because nothing's changed. Like they're still thinking about it. Like they're still thinking about all these things and not doing anything, our federal government. So I even look at my memory posts on Facebook and they're exactly the same as now. The only difference, the numbers are different, but otherwise they would be exactly the same if I posted them right now. So it's a bit of deja vu. So yeah,
History
keep a sense of,
repeats, eh?
that's it, exactly. It's weird. But I say to people, keep a sense of humor. And also it's a really great time as well for people to build and create more family memories as well. And a few people I've said that to have gone and done that and are really grateful for that. So yeah, so create, build memories, do those sort of things that we can do. Amazing things have been created in lockdown.
Yeah, absolutely. It really has. And it's just an attitude, really, isn't it?
100%, totally, yeah. And also too, what people don't realize is the attitude they have, it goes out to their family. So if they're in a bad mood and are hating lockdown, their kids are going to, and their family's going, it's going to affect everyone around them. But if they've got a really positive attitude and start creating and doing things, that will actually be a domino effect for the people around them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, great to have you here, Debbie.
Thanks, Nick.
All right. Who else we got here tonight? Got time for a couple more. Colin.
Well, I'm here obviously because Aldwyn is not only the media queen, but she's also a chap magnet. So wherever Aldwyn goes, I follow. I'm here. Well, I'm here obviously because all the tips you give us are excellent. I'm just about ready to release my workshop system. As you know, or maybe not know, my core business is building franchises. But during COVID, for some reason, nobody wants to expand their business. I don't know why. But anyway, it means that there's been no franchise sales for a while. The product I also sell in America has slowed up for the same reason. So years ago, I developed a system, a workshop system called Little Voice, and it was phenomenally successful. And I feel that after COVID, when we've had very strange times, maybe not difficult, but strange times, that little voice at the back of our head that tells us we can't do this or we can't do that, we're too old, we're too young, we're too fat, or whatever, that little voice is running our life and it can be controlled, and I can do it in one workshop. So I've decided to reinstate the workshop. So I need to listen to Aldwyn to find out how to get people to come along.
Awesome. So, excellent. Oh, well, there's a perfect example of, you know, not beating your head against a brick wall and sort of doing the same old thing, but changing and doing some other things that, you know, as the times dictate. All right. Who else got time for one more? Who's here? Lucky last. Introduce yourself. Francis, how are you? Haven't seen you for ages.
Hello, Nick, and hello, Aldwyn. Yes, that's right. We haven't seen each other for a while, for quite some time. And I see you advertising each week, join me, and I really long to come on, but I'm usually working. And so tonight I was free, and so I clicked, yes, I can come. And I always love listening to Aldwyn and all the tips that she's got for us and the stories, her life, and the work she does and the positivity that she wants to instill. The good news she talks about too. But so I'm a relationship therapist. I'm based here in Brisbane, and I particularly like to run couples weekend workshops. And so really I'm just on board tonight because it's always inspiring to hear Aldwyn talk. And I want to finally say to Nick, I have actually joined one of your meetups or your Zoom calls, okay? So
I think the last time we saw each other was at one of our physical meetups when we were meeting in person at a venue. So yeah, great to see you. It's been such a long time. So
it has been, and we just live up the road from each other. How about that?
There you go. Eh? It's always the way, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. But good to see Aldwyn again too.
Awesome. Excellent. All right, well, let's kick off. I've got a glass of water sitting on my desk all ready to go. The cat has jumped up and is now licking out of my glass of water. So I'm just going to grab my whiskey bottle and sort of refresh myself that way, I think. All right, so let's have a look and see what we've got on the agenda tonight. All right. That cat is dipping his paw in my glass of water and shaking it all over my desk now. There you go, the joys of working from home. You never get this when you're running a live event out somewhere else, do you? All right, so we have an agenda tonight, and that is I do have some cool online tools tonight to share. So I've got them lined up, ready to go. And then we have Aldwyn on, and she's going to be sharing with us some of her experience and how to get free publicity, which is definitely pertinent in these times. We do have a time for questions. Not sure how Aldwyn will handle that, but I'll leave that over to her, whether she'll let you butt in or whether they're going to be all at the end. And we do have a prize draw as well, incredible prize tonight. So as usual, you have to be here to win. So if you leave the room early, and as did happen last week, and we drew the prize and they weren't in the room, we just go and draw it again. And then we'll talk about the next event before we close off. We've got a couple of people watching in on Facebook. So hello, Brett O'Connor. He is there sort of, well, he's got a class running, I think. So good to have you Facebook people on as well too. All right, so would love it if you could check in on either Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, whichever is your platform of choice. Yeah, two reasons why we do that. One is to build your personal profile or your digital footprint in the social media space. And it really helps people to get to know, what you're interested in and what you check out and who you are as a professional and business person by the sort of events and things that you attend. And the other reason, obviously, is to just let other people know that the event is on. And if they missed it, just to spread the word a bit wider. So if you enjoy it, it's always great to be able to share some of that love as well. So on Facebook, obviously, to share it or to check in, just tap on where you'd normally create a post. A menu will pop up from the bottom. You will see one of the items says check in. If you click on that, and then it will bring up a selection of things around nearby you. You may not see business owners smashing it online, but you can search for that in the search bar. Once it comes up, tap on that and then add a comment, add a photo, tag me in, tag Aldwyn in, or if there's someone that you think should be here and they're missing it, tag them in and invite them along as well too. All right, well, let's get underway with some of our cool online tools. So I'm going to swap screens now and bring up the browser. And hopefully I've got a little green line around my browser, which tells me you should be able to see something that says test, optimize, and repeat. Give us a thumbs up. Great. Thanks, Colin. All right. So our first online tool here is actually, it's really important now because Google is just in the midst of another algorithm change, which I think, if it hasn't kicked off now, it's about to kick off. It's called WebVitals, and it is tracking and ranking sites based on performance and speed based on some of their criteria. And so the new algorithm release is called Core Vitals. Look it up, and there's plenty of information out about it. But this is a speed test tool which will help you look at what you can do to improve it. So anyone will go to a website that you want us to run through the speed test on a public webinar. just yell out and I'll put it in. Anyone brave enough? Otherwise, I'm just going to choose one.
Can you do landing pages as well?
You can do landing pages.
Okay, so Aussie Business Accelerator / invitation.
Aussie Business Accelerator
/ invitation, even though we're just about to rejig it. .com / invitation.
Okay, / invitation. All right. AussieBusinessAccelerator.com / invitation. Hopefully I spelled that right. All right. Okay. They want us to just verify we are human.
We're just human.
All right. So enter your website URL in, and then it will run a crawl of your site and come back with a result of how your site's performing but more importantly, what you can do to improve it. One of the things that I didn't show you there is on that screen, you can, the screen before, you can choose the location where you want to run the test from. So generally I run it from Sydney because most of what we do here is in Australia, but you can run it from I think there's a New Zealand data center and lots of US ones, but just choose one that is closest to you and your audience. Okay. So it's running 40 seconds, 50 seconds. So while we're just waiting for that to finish, the link for this and all the apps will pop in the chat. Now the chat box, if you're not familiar with it, is down the bottom of your screen and there's a chat icon. If you click on that, then that'll bring up chat. And in fact, the web page test.org is in chat already. So at the end of this segment or the end of the evening, you can save that chat by clicking the 3 little dots on the bottom right-hand side, and that will save it to your computer. All right, that's still running. We might come back to that one and see, and I'll show you what the results are. So while we're doing that, let's move on to our next app, very pertinent tonight. And Aldrin may even touch on it as well too. Hope I'm not stealing your thunder, but this is a great site for finding media opportunities and for posting media opportunities. So it's called SourceBottle.com. It's a site created by an Australian down in Melbourne, Beck Darrington, and this here is a place to be able to look for places where you can be interviewed or create a blog post, a guest post, or something of the type, or to if you're looking for people to interview or for podcasts, for webinars, for whatever it is, it's also a great place to find people that are looking for opportunities. So you simply, it's free to sign up. And you create your profile, and then you can, it's got 2 sections. You know, you're a journalist or a blogger, or you're looking for publicity. So if you're looking for publicity, that means that you're, looking for stories, but you may be a journalist or blogger looking for other people. So you can set some of the criteria that you're looking for as part of your profile. And once you've done that, you can, there's a checkbox there where you can check to get an email every day, every week with opportunities, and that'll land in your inbox. SourceBottle also has a Facebook page as well, and sometimes the opportunities are published on Facebook before you get your email. So it's a place to go and check, sort of 2 or 3 times a day if you happen to be looking for opportunities. So this is a great source. Heaps of journos are on this here. This is one of the places they get their stories from, and I know that there are people there that are in business. This is a place where they go and find opportunities as well too. So well, we're subscribing to. I've been a subscriber for years now, and the link for that is SourceBottle.com. All right, let's duck back to the speed test and see where we're going. There we go. All right. So here are the results of the speed test. You'll see at the top here, it has got a number of grades. So, so security score, first byte time. So that's the time that it takes for your server to send the first bit of information through. Keep alive enabled is that's more sort of a technical thing in terms of browser caching images and that sort of thing. Compressing images with you've got a cache on there to serve things faster, and using a CDN. So we've got 4 green areas here, which is great, and 3 red ones, which are opportunities to then go and investigate to see what you could improve. And so once you scroll down here, there's a whole lot of stuff here that looks a wee bit techie. If you gave this to your web developer, or any reasonable web developer will know what to do with it. But the immediate thing here I see on this website is there is an image here that could be optimized. So that would be the first thing which would create the biggest impact on this side here, is reducing the size of the image. Now, to do that, I'm going to whip in and give you another app, which is not on my list. So JM, see if you can grab that one and put it in as well. It's called Tiny PNG. So Tiny PNG is a place where you can go and drag images and drop them here. And once you've dropped the images, it will strip out all the unnecessary stuff. And sometimes it'll compress out, it'll get the images down to about, or strip out 80% of the weight of it. So, so for that, this is the place I go to optimize that image, re-upload it, and that'll give you a better score in this area here. So, you'll see a lot of the items have got links on it. If you click through onto those links, it will give you some more opportunities to be able to optimize as well too. And so this cumulative layer shift, that is one of the things that is coming out in a new algorithm update with Google. And that layout shift is, you know, when you see a website load, and so before it loads, it'll maybe a second or so, you'll see it jump and say content will be pushed down or whatever. That there is a cumulative layout shift. So you want to minimize that as much as possible, or make that as quick as possible. So again, that image should deal to that there and give you a better score there. And then largest contextual paint, that's another thing as well. So there's a whole lot of items. But if you click on each of these items above, so let's say security score, it will give you some suggestions as to what you can do to improve it. So some of these are a wee bit techy. They go into what they call an HT access file. But again, there are links here to tell you what you need to do. Again, it's often it's really just a cut and paste of some of the code, and in this case, going into your HT access file. But again, a web developer will know what to do there, so you can send them here, get them to sort it out, and that'll get your site up and running a whole lot quicker and be great for the new Google algorithm update. Probably not so important for a landing page that you've given us, Debbie, because you won't be relying on Google to send you traffic. You'll be relying on things like ads and that side of things. So because of that, this isn't quite so important. But from a user's experience, if you're sending ad traffic there, you want it to load quickly, load fast, so that particularly on mobile devices, so people aren't waiting around, because the longer they wait, the more likely they are to click the back button and go somewhere else. So if it's longer than 3 seconds, that's a high risk of people clicking the back button. So if you can get that round to so 1 to 2 seconds, then you're in about the right sort of area. All right, so that there is called webpagetest.org, and that other app that I shared there was tinypng.com. This one I use pretty much every day. This is one of my go-to tools. All right, next one is, this one's really cropped up in my feed because the Gold Coast Library has just brought on board lynda.com for free. So the state library in Queensland, you can access lynda.com for free, and there are other state libraries around the country that also give access to it for free. Now, the thing about lynda.com is you can no longer subscribe and create an account there. So if you can get if you've got a library card, check your local library to see whether they subscribe. I'm not sure about New Zealand, whether New Zealand libraries do. I think there are some libraries that are the same there as well, but you need to be a member to get access to it for free. The reason why, now, for those who are not familiar with lynda.com, it is a training portal. Anything you want to learn, it's probably in here. So someone's created a course, and it's one of the go-to places for courses. So the reason why lynda.com is no longer taking registrations is that LinkedIn bought it, and it's now called LinkedIn Learning. So you can subscribe to it with LinkedIn. You can pay for it there, and it's the same, well, pretty much the same course content. They've pulled it all across into LinkedIn Learning. But if you've got a lynda.com, whatever you do, don't cancel it, because and I've got a free account there. And, if you cancel it, you're into a subscription model with LinkedIn Learning. Or if you're a member of a local library, check them out, see whether they subscribe to either lynda.com or LinkedIn Learning, and you will get that for free as part of your library subscription. All right, both of those links are in, or should be in chat. Yep. Next one is, someone was asking me this week about a simple project management tool. So some of you will be familiar with this. It's one that I use with a networking group that I'm a part of. This is called Trello, or Trello.com, and it is a Kanban board for project management. So let me see if I can just log in here. And I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. All right, thank goodness for LastPass. It remembers all my passwords, because I certainly don't. All right, so we will bring up, let's jump to some boards, and I'll show you what we've got. Here we go. Oh, so this particular board here, you can use it for public sharing as well, John. I know some people that use boards like this. This here is a website called shradarkatakam.com. He's a Melbourne-based WordPress developer specializing in the Genesis WordPress framework, for those that are familiar with it. But his site, he's got a whole lot of tutorials on how to do things with this particular theme on WordPress. So with these, and he's got some great tutorials there. He's monetized it, so so people subscribe to it on a monthly basis, fairly reasonable pricing. Can't remember what it is, but what he's invited people to do, he's created this Kanban board on Trello, and he's asked for people to let him know what tutorials they want. So on the left-hand side, once you've subscribed and joined his board, you can then add in your requests for tutorials. And so what he then does is that he will move them across the board. So you can see that his next board across is awaiting input. So he's probably emailed the person or contacted them. You can email them here. You can message them from here as well. So here we go. There's a conversation happened in here. So he's waiting for some more information before he does anything with it. And then in progress is one that he's making a tutorial for. The next column is, and all he simply does is drags it from, so you can drag these cards from one column to the next. You can't on a public board, but you can when you've got administrative access to it. So once you've done it, finished it, you can then drag it to completed. So these are all the projects here that he's completed, and then over into archive. So a Kanban board is really just a board of, probably the easiest way to think about it is Post-it notes. And you've got 5 columns of Post-it notes, and you're just moving the Post-it notes to the next area to deal with until you've got it right through to completed and archived. So really simple method of project management, collecting ideas from people, and you can use it for all sorts of things. This just happens to be a way of getting information from public, but you can use it for projects you're working on, for events like this event here. This used to be on a Kanban board like this here, from when we need to get a speaker, through to all the stuff we've got to get from them, through to our marketing, where we're putting our marketing, how we put all that together, right through to the end of the event when we just go and archive it and then spin up another board. So really good tool. And Trello was really one of the places that really pioneered this in the online space. Other platforms like ClickUp, Asana, and a few others that have got Kanban boards like this as well. But this would be the one of the simplest ones that I've come across. So that there is Trello.com. All right. Now, some of you may be wondering where I find some of my apps and deals. So Appsumo is one of those places. They're not all there, but if you're looking for a deal or an app or a tool, this is often a great place to come. Appsumo is a curation place for apps and tools, and often people will place on here their apps and tools, and sometimes and you'll get it at a cheaper deal, but often you'll get lifetime deals as well too. So here's one here, $699 if you subscribe to it. Outside of this, buy it on Appsumo, and it's $59. Sometimes they're cut down versions of the apps and tools. Other times they're full versions. So I've got some great tools. I think one of them is I've showcased here once before, called Write Sonic. And that's one that writes all of my content without me having to do too much at all. So it's an AI content generator, which is pretty good. And so I found that on this here. But you can sift and sort this, and you can find all sorts of things from project management through to apps for websites, for social media, for CRMs, pretty much anything. So if you've got nothing to do during a day, then you want to waste a whole day sort of going through apps and tools, this is the perfect place to do it. So you can spend a lot of time going down a lot of rabbit holes here. But yeah, it is a good source for getting some good ideas. So that's appsumo.com. And I'm going to introduce one more app just because Debbie, who's here, has just reminded me of it. So she uses something called Linktree. So you know how on in Facebook or Instagram that they give you a space to put a website. Now you might want to have more than one website or more than one thing there. So Linktree is a place where you can put all of your website links, your social media links, your landing pages, anything you want to share. So instead of putting your website URL into your profile on Instagram or Facebook, then create a Linktree account, and you can create a free account. They've got a paid account, but you know the free account is fine. And then you can add it, and you can see on mobile device, it just really comes across with these bars here on mobile for people to get in touch with you. So, and you can create a vanity URL with it as well too. And yeah, you can use it on all of your social media. So the real benefit of it is that if you use it on, say, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, across social media platforms, rather than going back to all of those platforms to change your URL, let's say you've got a landing page for a specific event, rather than having to go back and remove it or replace it on all those platforms, you just come into Linktree, and you just replace it there, and then it automatically is replaced on all of those social media platforms. So big time saver, and a great app as well. So there you go, bonus app there. Thanks, Debbie, for having that up on your profile there. That is a well worthwhile one to share. All right, that's our apps and tools for today. Any favorites there? Just drop it into chat. Just tell us what you enjoyed most, or where you're going to lose yourself tomorrow when you've got all of this free time. Colin.
Oh. I've just got a quick question.
Oh, Debbie. Yep.
Yeah, with Trello, does it have a public part but also a private part? So if you use Trello for private stuff, nobody can see it at all?
Yes, it does. So that board that I showed you, he has made that board public and given permissions there, which don't allow people to drag and drop the cards, but can add ideas and add comments. But the default is private. And then you've got some permissions where you can make parts or all of it public.
Great. Thank you for that. Thanks, Colin.
All right. Any other questions about that? Any favorites? Drop them in chat. So we've got some votes for Linktree, web page test, SourceBottle and Linktree, Lynda.com. All right, excellent. Well, there's going to be some busy people out there tomorrow, or maybe later tonight when you can't sleep.